Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to you all, my dear students. Today we are going to start the first lesson on our curriculum for this semester. We are going to start from Unit 1. As you see, the title of this unit is 2 is better than 1. This is the title of our lesson. From this title, you can guess that we are not talking about individuals. We are going to talk about couples. Who are couples? The two of the same kind or different kind. Like what? Like when I talk about couples, I can talk about wives and husbands, for example. So in this lesson, my dear students, we are going to read about couples who made changes in history. At first, you have to read this passage and understand it well. In this lesson, you are going to listen and read at the same time. So be careful of this. Okay, let's start. We are going to talk about the first couple.
Marie and Pierre Curie, 1894 to 1906. Maria Skłodowska was born in Warsaw in 1867. She was the daughter of a secondary school teacher. She studied in local schools and received some training in science from her father. Because women were not able to attend university in Poland in the 19th century, Maria left Poland to study at a French university in 1891. Now known by the French name Marie, she worked hard in a laboratory that was owned by Pierre Curie. Pierre Curie was born in Paris in 1859. He received his early education at home and then joined the Faculty of Sciences at the Sorbonne. He was promoted to professor in 1900. Marie and Pierre Curie got married in 1895. Although poor, they were devoted to each other and their research. Their studies of radioactive substances were carried out under difficult conditions. Their laboratory facilities were hardly adequate, and they had to do a lot of teaching to earn a living. In 1898, the couple discovered the elements polonium and radium. They eventually won the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1903 for the discovery of radioactivity. When Pierre died in 1906, Marie honored his memory by continuing their work. In 1911, Marie Curie won another Nobel Prize, this time for chemistry. She was the first person to win the Nobel Prize twice.
To the second couple.
Anita and Giuseppe Garibaldi, 1839 to 1849. Giuseppe Garibaldi was a leader in the struggle for Italian unification and independence. When Garibaldi was exiled from Italy, he fled to South America, where he lived for 12 years and fought in another struggle for independence. This time for the independence of Uruguay from Argentina. While in Brazil, Garibaldi married Anita Ribeiro, a young woman from Laguna, a small town in southern Brazil. As husband and wife, the two traveled everywhere together. It was known that Anita even accompanied her husband to battles. However, on August 4th, 1849, Anita, pregnant and sick, died in Garibaldi's arms. Garibaldi never did get over his grief at Anita's death. Over a decade later, he was still grieving when he first went to meet the king of a unified Italy, wearing one of her scarves.
Okay. Now, my dear students, we listen and read this passage about two couples. Now, let's talk about some important words that may face a student, and he may think a lot about these words. Here, some vocabulary. You have to match each word to its meaning. The first word is devoted. What do you think the meaning of this word is? When I talk about a devoted person, a wife who was devoted to her husband, or a husband who was devoted to his wife. Yes, now, very good. A devoted husband or wife means dedicated or loyal. Very good. So, dedicated person who is a devoted and a loyal person. When we talk about a person who was exiled from his country and went to another country, yes, exiled means person who was forced to leave one's native country. Very good, excellent you are. Then to the third word, fled. Fled is the past of fleed. What happens when someone escape and leave a place and go to another place? Now he fled. Fled means escaped or ran away. Very, very good. Excellent you are. Grieving. When we talk about grieving, we talk about sadness. We talk about sadness. When someone in a state of sadness and in a big state of sadness, this is called grieving. Grieving has the same meaning as the word mourning. Yes, very good. Mourning and grieving, they have the same meaning. But here, my dear students, be careful of the spelling of the word morning, M-O-U-R. But when we talk about I get up in the morning, M-O-R. Be careful of the difference in spelling between these two words. Then the word legendary. When we talk about a legendary person or a legendary place, this means that a famous person. Very good. The last word is the word unification. From the beginning of the word, this word uni, like what? Unit 1, unit 2, group of lessons together. So here when we talk about unification, we talk about getting things together or bringing things together. So unification means bringing things or bringing together. Okay. Now, my dear students, to the last point in our lesson for today, which is what? Comprehension questions. After listening and reading the text, you have to read these questions and try to answer them. By answering these questions, you can make sure that you understood the comprehension well. So answer the questions about the marriages from history. The first question, why did Marie Curie leave Poland after school? Going back to the text, you can find that women were not allowed to continue their studies and go to university in Poland. So Marie Curie left Poland and went to France. So her, because women were not able to attend the university in Poland. Number two, why were conditions difficult for Marie and Pierre Curie? Of course, their life was very difficult. Why? Because they were very poor and they had to work hard in order to earn their living. So here, they had to work long hours in order to earn a living, and their laboratory did not have a lot of facilities. Number three, which discovery made them famous? They were very famous in history. Why? Because they discovered what? Yes, excellent, radioactivity. So the discovery of radioactivity made them famous. Number four, how many Nobel Prizes did they win and when? Of course, when we go back to the reading text, you can find that they both won a Nobel Prize. And after the husband was or died, his wife won another Nobel Prize. So they discovered, or they received a Nobel Prize for physics in 1903, and Marie Curie herself won another Nobel Prize in chemistry in 1911. Question number five, where did Giuseppe Garibaldi go after he fled Italy? He fled Italy, escaped Italy, and went to where? What happened to him there? Of course, he went to, going back to the text, we can find that he went to South America. When or where he met his wife. So he went to South America and fought for the independence of Uruguay. He met Anita there. So the most important thing in this answer, the place where he fled to South America. And what happened to him there? Of course, he met his wife Anita there. The last question, was Garibaldi's campaign in Italy finally successful, yes or no? Was his efforts in Italy finally successful? Of course, yes, it was. He also made the first king of a unified Italy. At the end of this lesson, my dear students, I hope you listen and read the text again and again and try to understand it. After listening to this lesson, you have to memorize the words and their meanings, and also you have to answer these questions in order to make sure that you understand the lesson well. Thank you very much. We hope we meet the next week, inshallah, to have the grammar lesson. I hope you, my dear students, to prepare this lesson before dealing with it, and I I hope you can participate, you can connect to me on WhatsApp on our private number. Thank you very much. Bye bye.